Fans of the early Washington Capitals have a great affection for this player because he not only overachieved, he was a fan favorite, a very fluid player, pretty well be considered one of their first or second liners for most of the early campaigns of Washington, and also became the first Capital to score a hat trick in team history, and that came in that rough 1975 season. So today we're going to talk about the very, very impressive and a very dedicated Ron Lalonde. Now, born in Toronto, Ontario, he first came to major prominence by playing in the Quebec International Pee Wee Hockey Tournament with the Scarborough Lions minor hockey team. He eventually graduated to OHL before turning professional with the Hershey Bears in '73. Now, with the Peterborough Petes, he put some really great numbers, 46 points in 44 games in his first campaign. In '72, he put up 63 points in 58 games, which allowed him to be drafted 56th overall by the Pens in the '72 draft. Now, he had a good season with Hershey. He had a cup of coffee with Pittsburgh later in the '73 season. But '74, his first NHL campaign, he put up 27 points in 73 games, decent numbers, good clean player. However, they decided to not say give up on him, but they traded him to the Washington Capitals after a rough start to the season. He only had 3 assists in 24 regular season games. And ironically, when he was traded to Washington, his offensive prowess went through the roof. He put up 26 points in 50 games on the team that year that only won 8 overall games. '76, he put up 28 points, including 9 goals in 80 games. '77, 29 points in 76 games. And then up and down between Washington and the Hershey Bears over the next few seasons. But the problem is with Ron, it wasn't his fault. He would go in these scoring droughts, and I'll tell you why. The 1978 season, ladies and gentlemen, okay, he only had a goal and 5 assists for 6 points in 67 games, but again, was only minus 18. So a very good defensive player who changed around his game. Now, he did play in Austria to end his career in 1981 and put up some decent numbers. But what a lot of people remember about Ron, again, when Washington only had a few good moments in that '75 season, for him to score against the Red Wings, those 3 goals really, really stood out. And we talked before, even though Greg Jolie didn't meet the heights that were expected, he was a bright light that year. Laframboise was a bright light. Labre, Lalonde, and some of the goaltending was terrible, but some was good. Ron Lowe had some good games that year. So I mean, it's all a matter of perspective, because every expansion year has 5 or 10 players throughout the season that stand out, that are still giving their all. And I know this for a fact from my media pals in Ontario and Quebec. This guy was dedicated. No matter how tough it was in Washington, he never gave up, because he played in Pittsburgh and Peterborough with some really good players that learned him how to win, and he would never give up. So you can't give up. If you make it the NHL, you must deserve to be there. There's no there's no free ride in major pro sports, ladies and gentlemen. It's just like journalism. I've been a writer for 38 years. I'm not here just because people feel sorry for me. I'm here because I can do my job. And just like Bobby Lalonde and the other Lalondes who have made the NHL, overachievers. And like I said, Ron has my great respect, because I saw him a game against the Montreal Canadiens, and I could see the sweat pouring off his face. And I'm saying to myself, this guy, I think it was like 5-1 or 6-1, he's not giving up. It's just like the early years of Vancouver. We all know how tough they were. And the early years with the Islanders especially, the early years of Atlanta and the Islanders was rough. It was rough for sure. So that's the legend of Ron Lalonde. Thanks for listening. If you like what we're doing here with Adventure Podcast, give us a like, comment, or subscribe, and requests are always encouraged. Thanks for listening. Bye.